Friends, welcome back to another episode of the Find a Way podcast with Dusty. Thanks for tuning in. Recently, I've been taking a look back on trauma. Interesting enough, the trauma of the past still drives me 9 years later today. And connecting trauma with your drive and push is something I've done and has helped 9 years in. So, can I dare suggest that you've got to connect that drive to be better and to do better to the trauma of what you've experienced? You have to almost like when my son was born, he had a hematoma on his head, and they had given him, or they had given us the option to where if it doesn't go down, which most times it doesn't, but if it doesn't go down and it calcifies, then we'll have to perform surgery and a whole number of things. And that calcification is essentially something to where something that could just be a moment and go away actually hardens and becomes permanent. And I bring that up because I associate that with the trauma of my past has calcified. It's hardened and it's there. It's not something that I can just do away with. I can go to therapy and I could find alternatives. I can reroute my thinking. I can alternate my process. But the fact is, I lived 30 plus years with missed opportunities and experiences and, interactions with people that it just doesn't go away because I lost weight or because I have prioritized therapy it doesn't go away. It's always there. It's calcified. The trauma of my past has calcified. So because of that, I have to use that calcification now to say, hey, I've got to use that to drive me. So I wonder if in the process of therapy, in processing what you've been through to be better and to take care of yourself and not let it be a crutch, but you eventually turn that trauma into a triumph. And you use it not in a way to diminish yourself or to put yourself down, but to say, hey, this happened and I'm going to use it. And I'll give you a great example, and you've probably noticed this song pop up a whole lot more on my page, on my stories. It's a song called Cornfield Chase, and it's a version or a rendition of a song from the movie Interstellar from Christopher Nolan. And the actor, it's at the tip of my tongue, and he played Alfred in Christian Bale's Batman. What's his name? You're probably saying it. Well, you're going to listen to this after I'm recording this, so I won't be able to hear what you're thinking, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. He was in the movie Interstellar, and there's a line that they actually use in this song, and it says, "Do not go gentle into that good night." And while it's a line that relates to the movie, obviously it's a fictional movie, we're talking about space, all that, there was just such an instant connection for me to that phrase of "do not go gentle into that good night." Like for me, the trauma of right before I went to sleep at my top weight and around that weight, I would always have to push the weight on my chest down towards my stomach because I felt like I was suffocating when I was sleeping. So because of that suffocation, there's trauma there that I can't breathe. I woke up 3 or 4 times a night gasping for air because I had lost the ability to breathe because of my extra weight. There's trauma there. That trauma is calcified that I can't lose that. It's always there. It's always a memory of that happened. I almost died in my sleep because of my weight, because I was overweight. And when we say that word good night, it felt like the lights were dimming for me, that things were slowly just getting darker and darker to where the lights would just shut off and I wouldn't be here anymore. And so the line right before it, and it was actually one of my main motivational songs during marathon training, and in fact, the last lap of my marathon before I crossed the finish line, I had this song on repeat. Because right before it says, do not go gentle into that good night. And everything that I'm doing, every push, every gym session, every decision that I make for my health is me aggressively not going gentle into the good. Like I'm aggressively going after what almost killed me before. Like I'm working out so I can breathe. I'm working out so that I don't have to push the extra weight around my chest down towards my stomach so I don't suffocate when I'm breathing. Like I make the nutritional choices that I do so that I could stay at a weight so that I could not experience the trauma of what I experienced before. Like I'm pushing, and there's just this aggression that I've got and that I've had to where I'm almost aggressive or I'm almost combative with the old me that got me to 534 pounds. And so maybe not any of us are going to get to 534 pounds. We may get higher than that, lower, whatever it is. Even if you're not an aggressive person, you've got to be combative to what has compromised you. Your top weight compromised your ability to do certain things. Roller coaster, something, jovial, something fun. Or spending time with your kids, getting on the floor and playing with your kids, or being able to sleep right, or not having to wear a mask when you sleep. There are things that your top weight has robbed you of that you are needing, and it is necessary for you to be combative to lose that, to not be there, to not experience that. And you've got to connect your trauma to your triumph, to your hard work, to the things that you're pushing after, that you're going after. You've got to connect that trauma to your drive. You can't forget that trauma. A why on your journey isn't just to fit in jeans, but a why has to be something that has compromised something near and dear to you. Whether it's spending time with your kids, or whether it was a moment where your kids realized that you couldn't play with them, or it could be any number of things. Whatever that thing is, you've got to connect it. You've got to connect it to what you're pushing after and what you're going after. You have to. It's the only way you're going to be successful. And I speak from that from 9 years in, that I'm just combative and aggressive of just continuing to push towards my goals. And I can't just be complacent, because complacency got me to 534 pounds and I can't go back to that. So that journal, that vision board that I just posted about on Instagram about jotting things down, what's your trauma? It's gotta be deeply embedded within you, that trauma connectivity to that triumph, that drive, that push, because that is still pushing me 9 years later. I'm still putting this song on repeat because I remember suffocating and things becoming a real quick good night. I'm not going to be here anymore. And I'm not going gentle into my goals. I'm going aggressively to conquer them. And I'm going to keep doing that. And even if I just say cross the goal of a sub 4-hour marathon, I'm just going to keep building, keep pushing. And that's kept me alive. It's kept me thriving. It's kept a lot of my vitals, my blood work, my heart rate, everything in really, really good shape. So I'm just going to keep doing that, because if it's putting me in the best shape that I've been in, let's go, let's go, let's go.